Excellent. So one of the things I want to move on to now is kind of case studies, and I'd like to kind of, you just gave a great one with Shredded. I would like to kind of continue on. Now, actually, I'll come right back to you. And we actually got a question from the audience as well that is about kind of really repairing the relationship with sales and marketing, because I think that's one of the things that marketing automation can help as well. You might be coming into a situation where it hasn't been working, and then all of a sudden it does work. How do you get it to work and get it back to everybody singing Kumbaya in a room together, right? That's what you really want. But the question is the case study, right? Can you give me an example? I love to kind of go around the room of something that it might not necessarily have been working, and how did it get repaired? Or have your companies all just been so great that you've never had that issue? Because if you say that, I'm kicking you off the stage because you're lying to me. So go ahead.
So, we rolled out, I guess this is a client of ours, manufacturer, and they have a pretty well-known brand, but their main business is the business-to-business as far as the dealers, distributors. So they have that, both a B2B and B2C kind of interest, and also want to maintain that brand throughout the channel. And there was always like that headbutting of who's high-fiving the CEO more, sales or marketing, right? Who does it's like, who's the favorite son over here, And literally they had 2 CRMs, one for sales and one for marketing. And it's still a struggle today to say, look, you guys have to give up, or at least come together, even as, a guide book or a rule of engagement, right? So eventually we brought them together in the same room. Marketing decisions are made now with campaigns, with the salesperson, the sales director in the meetings themselves, right? So one, you get great feedback, but you also get buy-in, because a campaign can't be effective without buy-in.
Vince, I'd love to hear a case study from you.
I don't know that there's necessarily a case study, but what I would say is that the biggest problem, and it's not just in sales and marketing, is that we quit seeing each other as people, right? And in today's electronic age, I think the big problem is that, and what gets people down in their silos is the fact that they focus on email and tweets and text and all those other things, and they get down into the minutia. And I think that one of the things that I found that can make a huge difference in mending, excuse me, a relationship with sales and marketing, for example, coming to a conference together like this, letting them go out and have a good time together, see each other as people again, and break down those barriers. Because I think that's what happens, is that people, they get locked into that. And if you go and you see teams that aren't functioning well, it's because they've put up silos. It's because they've put up barriers, and they identify with that group think. And I think in most cases what's happened is that they've lost the vision of the company and where the company's going. And that's why I think that culture is very important in companies, and what you cultivate and how you bring people together.
Yeah, I think there are strategies that you can do. If you have a sales team and they're on the phone, get somebody from marketing to join in on that call, to listen in. Or if you don't have very hot leads, get them to maybe take a call, get them to understand and have empathy for what it is that the other side is doing. Likewise, we've talked about this before, but get sales in early to see what's going on with the campaign or the content strategy, and get an understanding as to what tools are in place, why they're in place, and what the expectations are there. And then hopefully, there will be more empathy between those two groups.
The kind of the million-dollar question, again, we're going to turn it over to the audience as well, so I'd love for you guys to chime in. Again, use sli.do, and it's 7909 in order to kind of join. So feel free to submit a question over here. We're also going to be having a microphone come around we're going to be running out of time, I'm sure, shortly. But before we get to that, I kind of want to ask the million-dollar question. I want to kind of really draw the line here. For marketing in particular, content automation, the platforms themselves, where do you want to see them go, Keith?
I think where they will go eventually is they will get smarter. This is technology that's really still in its infancy. So, and sometimes, when you implement it, it feels a little very heavy-handed, and it's back to your getting the robot email with "Hi, how you doing? You're my new best friend. I'm a robot." So I think when you can start building sort of, artificial intelligence into sort of the marketing automation that learns from what past behaviors have been and adjusts itself accordingly. I think that's where things are starting to go, but it's still very early days for that.
Michael.
Yeah, like you're seeing it now with solutions that are predictive first, or the machine learning approach, where really, and this can be. It could be a good thing, could be a pretty bad thing, we're yet to see, but you've got other companies like Epi acquiring Pirius, and there's really a movement there to try and move away from being this manual rules-based approach where you've got to constantly tweak and feed the machine to being, well, we're capturing all of this data, let's see whether or not we can actually use machine learning to actually present content, relevant content, timely, based on the actual activities of people on the various channels. But the concern is, again, you automate that, you lose that really refined human connection in terms of trying to actually present content that's meaningful. So we'll see how effective they are, but you're beginning to see them roll out now in the market, and companies begin to use it.
From a sales perspective, it's kind of same question. Where do you want to see the platform itself go?
Well, definitely the machine learning thing. I want to know what I don't know. I want it to help me provide insights that I don't have. But I think that even with having those, I want it to be easier, simpler to use, simpler to set up. I think that marketers want systems that just work and that they can understand and that work the way that they work. I want to see that improvement. But in the end, I go back to the thing that I don't think you're ever going to take the human element. I think the machine is going to give us insights, and I think it's up to a human being to kind of take those insights and decide what to do. I mean, people are complex, and although those automation systems are going to give us those insights, you have to decide how to act on them, and that comes back to the human element.
Bruce.
Yeah, and I think this is why you see so many connectors and extensions from CRM to ERP to any other inventory system that I think no one wants to be evil or sneaky in sales, right? Who wants to be the villain, right? No one wants to be the villain. You want to provide a better service overall, right? I want to help you solve a problem. So these platforms are going to continue to integrate with each other. I think someone put a great graphic up there about just the proliferation of these platforms. And I think there's got to be a bubble burst eventually. Some of these are going to be pruned away. And so the ones that'll maintain are the ones that can provide that artificial learning, predictive analysis, and also just give us humans that still walk around here and hopefully we'll beat the robots a better advantage point to provide better service overall.